How are you all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel Let's Build iOS. I'm Imran Malik and today's video is related to layouts, auto layout using the constraint without using the storyboard. So I saw many people are searching for a few tutorials and good tutorials for learning uh, creating the UI without using the storyboard and just using the NS layout constraint provided by the Apple. So NS layout constraint are good in terms of creating the UI, but I found them a little bulky and a little confusing. So I prefer using the SnapKit framework. It is very nice, and I use this framework in most of my projects. The syntax is very little and it is very natural language that we use in our daily routine for the syntax. Okay, so I personally use this and I found it very useful to use in our projects for creating the layouts. Okay, so let's get started on this. Okay, so I have created a project here, a brand new project which is I'm using Xcode 11. Sorry, I'm using the Xcode 11.4, the latest one. That's why I have the simulator of iPhone SE second generation. And as I mentioned, we don't need it. But first, let me install the pod. So here is our project, and let me initialize the pod file here first. Pod init. I think it is here now. Okay, let me open it. So now here, what you need to do is just go here on the Google, type SnapKit, GitHub, open it, and you can see the pod installation is something like this. Okay, just copy it, go back to your project, actually the text editor, paste it here, and close it. Now, close it also. I will install the pod. Sorry. Okay, the pod file for SnapKit is installed, the framework of SnapKit. Now we need to open this XC workspace file instead of this export project. Now let me close it and let me open it like this. And actually, what we are going to create today, let me show you. I think I need to keep it here because it is creating some problem. So I am turning off this hiding feature. So this is what we are going to create using the SnapKit. We are going to use a collection view, and in which we are going to create the this kind of carousel cell which have a portrait image on the left side and two landscape cell images on the right side, and it has the title, a description, and a like button. Okay, we are not going to implement this like and dislike, just it is for demo purpose. And we are also going to use static data. We don't have any API right now, so as our purpose is only to show how we can create this kind of layout without using the storyboard and only the constraint and Swift layout. Okay, This is the iPhone 11 Pro Max and this is the iPhone 8. So you can see the constraints are auto layout is working fine for both the sizes. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing is we don't want to use this storyboard. So just click on it and delete it, move to trash. And if you are using the Xcode 11, uh, this scene delegate file is here and it is using the main.storyboard file. So in the earlier versions, we if we don't want to use the main storyboard file, we simply need to delete this storyboard from this bar and also from this place, and this is it. But in the Xcode 11, we also have one more place where we need to delete it, otherwise the application will crash. Storyboard time main. So you also have to delete this line from plist. Okay, now let me try to. I'm giving it the background color. View dot background color to red. Actually, it won't work because we need to provide a initial controller here in the scene delegate file. So for doing this, we have a kind of structure. Let me show you. Is let Windows scene. Unwrapping is uh, because it is an optional thing. UI Windows scene like this. Okay. Now I will create a variable of window UI window initializing with UI window scene. What it is giving me error. What is colon after this? Oh, sorry, I found it to write as. Okay, so we will provide it a Windows scene here. Now I'll create a controller object here. So what will be our controller? It's a view controller for now. Let me set it a root controller. Windows dot root controller equal to controller. Okay, self dot window because we have this already a variable of window. So we will provide it this variable we have created and window dot make key visible. Okay, so this is the line of codes that you want need to write in your app theme dot app delegate theme delegate file to initialize the root view controller. I'm giving the view controller as my root view controller. So let me try to run it on iPhone 11 Pro Max. So if it is working, then the view controller background color should be red. Okay. Okay. So here it is. You can see we have a red view controller here. So now I don't want to use this view controller. Like I want to give it a name. Suppose home view controller like this. The controller and also here. Okay, and I usually follow the MVVM pattern. So I will create a view model also for this controller. Let me do this quickly. Home view model. home view model like this, and I want this controller to be a dependency injector with this view model. So I'm going to create the model, home view model, self view model equal to this, and we need to have this variable here like this. Okay, and now I need to super dot init. Why it is not showing me? Let me clear and run it again. Yeah, let me fix it by adding this init coder decoder. Still it is super dot init. I think it's nib name, it's nil, and bundle, I think nil. What is here? Nib name and bundle. I think it should work, but it is still showing me errors. Let me build it again. Okay, so it is giving me error that we don't have any argument in the initializer. So it needs what it needs. Let's check it. It needs a view model of kind home view model. So quickly, I'm going to create a view model here. Okay, home view model like this, and I think we don't have any dependency injector on the home view model, so it will work like this. Now let me try to build it. Yep, it is working fine now. It is not giving me any warning or error. And let me do it white color. Okay. So now what we need to have here is a collection view, right? Private lazy word collection view, like why it is not auto completing. I think let me close the project and start it again. Lazy word collection view. So when you are using a lazy variable, it helps in two things. Like you can use the view object in this variable inside this block. Like if we are using a simple lat or where object, it initializes with the controller itself. But if we are using lazy keyword uh, at a prefix of any variable. Okay, so what it will do, it will not initialize with the controller. It will only initialize when we are using this object. Like when we are calling this collection view, it will be initialized immediately. So we can use the view property inside it as well. If I want to use the views property like bound or frame in a simple variable, if I remove this thing, then I am not able to use that. Okay, but if we are using the lazy keyword, so it will help us to access this property. Okay, so let me create a collection, like collection view, and returning the collection again like this. And we also need to have a layout here, collection, which is UI collection view, flow layout like this. And think, uh, okay, we need to pass it here. I'm giving it frame 0 because we are going to define it using the auto layout, and I want it to add on the view dot add sub view this collection. So till now we haven't give it a frame because it is 0, and we haven't used the collection constraint to attach this collection on the uh, controller's view. Okay, we have simply added the collection view on this view, and make sure whenever you are using any layout constraints, before giving them any value or before using them, you have to add those elements on the view or anywhere. Otherwise it will give you a crash. And I think the debugger is also not very clear, like how it is, why it is crashing. Okay, so make sure to add that any element that you going to use before using any layout constraint. Okay, so what I'm going to do, collection dot snp, it won't work because we haven't imported it. Import snapkit, snapkit like this. Snapkit no such framework, why it is giving me this error. We have a snapkit. Let me build it. Yeah, there might be some other issue. It is build succeeded. Collection dot snp. You can see we can access this property, and we will use a make constraint like this. And here we are going to do like this. The $0 is uh, $0 is used to access element of constraint, like which we want to give a value. So for the collection, we want to have it on the whole controller, like we are using here. So it should be it should cover the full view of this controller. Okay. So what we are going to do, ages and equal to super view. This is it. Yeah. So what it will do, all the edges of this collection will be equal to the super view. So the top will be equal to the top, bottom equal to the bottom, left will be equal to the left of the controller, and the right of the collection view will be equal to the right of this controller. Okay, so only single line, and it will put our collection view to edge on this controller. I hope you are understand what we have done yet. Okay, now I'm going to do the data source and delegate thing equal to self collection dot delegate equal to self again. Okay, and collection dot, I think background color we can use uh, background for color. System blue. Okay, it is giving me error because I haven't used the collection view data source and delegate till now in the home view controller. So let me do this quickly. In an extension, UI collection view data source, UI collection view delegate. I prefer to use extension for giving, like using all the delegates and data source, because it saves lots of line of code in the main controller, and we can create another class here for this extension, so it looks very clean, the controller and all the delegates, and manageable. Tool collection view, sorry, number of items in a section. So I'm returning suppose 20, uh, cell for row at index path, cell for item at index path. So we are going to use cell collection view dot view use identifier. I'm going to use cell index path as let me return it simply. Return cell. I know it will crash because we haven't initialized the default cell yet. So we are also not going to use the default cell. We are going to create another cell. Let me create a cell that will be a UI collection view cell. I will use a carousel. I think carousel collection cell. Like this. Okay, and in this cell, I will I will create a static variable for identifier that will be same as the name of the class. Okay, and for now I will initialize it super dot init with frame and for the coder thing will be here, and let me set its background color to system till. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to use this cell here dot identifier as this cell, and we also need to register with the collection dot register cell class dot self, and identifier will be identifier. Okay, so if I'm going to run it, it will not add this collection view on the controller. Let me show you, and none of this method will be called as well. So you can see it is showing a simple white screen. We don't have any collection view yet because we haven't used this variable on this controller yet. So if I'm going to use the reload data, so the control go to this variable, and it will add the collection on the view and all the constraints what we have did here, and then it will work fine. Let me show you. Yeah, so you can see because we have given background color to our collection view is system blue, so it is the blue. You can see it is filled in the controller, and cell we have given the teal color, I think. Yeah, system teal. So all these cell are showing like this. Okay, so now the next thing we want here to access this all the data source, like number of section from the from our view model. So I'm going to create it here. Mark collection view data source. I'll create a function number of rows, and it will return an integer value. So I'm returning a 20. Okay, and I'll explain you about the view model because we don't need it right now. Okay, so let me access view model dot number of rows like this, and we also want to have all the cells on the screen, like left fill all for all the width and also the height like this. So we have a cell from here to here. Okay, it's a square kind of cell. Okay, so for doing this, I'm going to use the delegate of flow delegate. Let me delegate flow layout. Yeah, and here we are going to use the size for item, and the size for item we want to have according to our width, like whatever the width of our collection view, and the height should be equal to the width of collection view as well. So it will create a square cell for us. So what I'm going to do is return cg size width. Width will be equal to collection view dot frame dot width. Okay, and the same for the height. So we'll get a square cell, and I also want to have spacing in between the cells. So I'm going to use, is, is that line spacing for section? Yeah, and I'm returning 2, 22. So all the cells have spacing of 2. Let me show you the effect. Now for now I'm going to use a 0. As you can see, we cannot identify where our first cell is starting and where it is ending. I mean, we can identify the start point for the first cell, but the second cell, third, fourth, fifth, we don't have any separator, so we are not able to identify where it is starting and where it is ending. So I want a 2 pixel spacing in between all the cells. Now let's see the result. Yeah, now you can see we have a separator spacing between the cells of 2 pixels, and I think it should be white again. Okay, so I think our structure is ready using only the layout constraint, but we have used only the collection view to embed on the controller till now. Okay, and this video is going a little bit lengthy, so I'll create a new video, another video for the next part, in which we will see how we can create that carousel cell like we have here. Okay, and we will add this label uh, up below the image view here, and one description label and one button for like and dislike. Okay, and we will also create a data source in our view model, which will provide the data for each cell uh, on this cell for item at index path, and it will be reusable cell. I will show you how you can create a reusable view that you can use anywhere. Like we are using the collection view, but if you want to use the same cell in the table view, like this carousel view. Okay, so how you can do this, I will show you in the next video. So if you haven't subscribed my channel till yet, I'll request you to subscribe it, so you will never miss any video and any tutorials from my channel. And if you find this tutorial helpful, I'll suggest you and I'll request you to share my channel and videos link to your friends and your colleagues. It will help my channel to grow and keep supporting my channel. Thank you so much.